Hello to all of my newcomers and my subscribers to be. Don't forget to click that like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more commentary. But today I have something for you. Thank you for tuning in to Real News Talk. Today my topic is about Amber Guyger, the young lady that killed Botham Jean, went into his apartment and shot him allegedly by accident, supposedly, allegedly. But anyway, the Texas death row prison put all the high-profile inmates. They are all locked up, and she's with the she's in the prison with the girl that gunned down. Remember Grammy-winning singer Selena Perez? Well, that's the prison that Amber Guyger is in. And so the Texas Department of Criminal Justice released a new mugshot of Amber Guyger on Monday. Amber Guyger is now in the prison system, and they have a new mugshot of her. And this is the new mugshot of Amber Guyger, you guys. That's the new mugshot of Amber Guyger. And so she's a whole different person now, because once you get in that system, you just don't look the same anymore, because of, I guess, all the fear being with the women that's been in there. Some of those women may be in there for life. You never know what you're going to get. So a lot of times when a person gets a shorter sentence, it doesn't mean that it's really short in reality. And the reason why, I know everybody was upset about it, but the reason why, because sometimes people may commit a crime, but they don't think that they're going to get a sentence. And when they do get one, whether it's short or not, it's going to be pretty long to them because of the type of prison system they're in, and also being around other criminals that's been there a long time. And Amber Guyger may not be able to handle the situation, or she may, because she's pretty tough. If you could see from the mugshot, she seems like she will be able to handle that situation, because she was a tough girl. She wasn't a like a wimpy type of girl. She was more like a tomboy looking girl, like really tough, really tough. So she looks like she can handle it. I don't see a lot of fear. She looks like, I got this, I can do this. So maybe she'll be able to handle those rough women that's in the prison system. And so they took that mugshot on Monday, and it was taken at Mountain View Unit, a maximum security women's prison in Gatesville, Texas. Oh, I remember my mother used to tell me about Gatesville. She go, if you be bad and go to Gatesville, you won't be able to like it. They said that is pretty tough. Well, my mom said that years when I was a little girl growing up about Gatesville. She said, oh, Gatesville, that's a pretty bad prison out there. And they have her there with the woman that gunned down Grammy-winning singer Selena. Wow. I had forgotten all about that woman was out there in Gatesville that killed Selena, who was the queen of, Trajano music? The queen of music. Wow. So then it's 130 miles southwest of Dallas. So it's 130 miles, that prison outside of Dallas. That's what the officials said. And she'll be there for quite some time, so they're probably going to send her somewhere else. So she may not just stay at Gatesville. They may ship her somewhere else. And so by the state privacy laws, they are barred about saying anything else about Amber Guyger because of the state privacy laws. So that's all they can say about her, is where she is. They can't say what she's eating, her condition, what she's doing, and what she's saying. They can just tell you where she is and show you the mugshot. And it's 97 acres of land there. So it's 97 acres of land, 650 women. It's in Gatesville, Texas, 130 miles southwest of Dallas. That's what Amber Guyger is. And again, she's in it's the Texas female death row prison. High-profile inmates are locked up there, including that woman that shot down the Grammy-winning. So she's in a death row. You know, those people don't give a damn. When they're on death row, they feel like, I'm already going to die anyway. So no telling what Amber Guyger is going through. And that's why I was saying that people may feel like, well, she got a short sentence, because I thought so too. But in reality, you never know what a person's actually going through. You know what I'm saying? You never know what a person's actually going through, because it may seem short to us, but in reality, when you're at a Texas female death row prison with high profile inmates that's been locked up for years and years, my Lord, those people don't give a damn. So it may be 10 years that she got, but to her it's probably feeling like 100 years because of the type of situation she's in. Wow. So that's really something. That is really something. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice released that mugshot of Amber Guyger on Monday, taken at the Mountain View unit of MAXIUM. They said it's a maximum because, I guess because since she was a police officer, they have to have, the security around her because of the high profile case of her killing Botham John in his apartment. So, all of those people in Gatesville, they have pretty much heard about it. So she's got to be pretty tough to be in that situation. And again, I'm going to show you that mugshot that was released. I hope you can see this. Let me see if I can put it closer. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's really something. That's how she looks now. Wow. So you guys, it's really, really something. And she has to pay for her crime, but she's probably not going to be there at this facility a very long time. And it was a lot of talk about the judge that gave her the Bible. And I wonder if they let them have Bibles in those prisons. I'm not sure. They should sell Bibles there. And that way the prisoners, when they leave court, they can go buy their own Bibles. And so that's what people were saying about the judge. It's not so much about Amber Guyger, and it's not so much about Amber Guyger's race. It's about her being a criminal, just like the woman that shot Selena Perez here, because actually if someone kills someone, it's not about no race. It's about if this other person was just an innocent victim. And so that's what basically everyone was saying, is that all the prisoners probably need a Bible, and all of them will probably need a hug, so that when they leave, they can deal with the prison system just like her. So basically, I think that's what it was all about, because the judge was online saying, I wonder why everybody's angry. Because they want a Bible too. They want a hug too. People that are going to prison are just like babies. And if they see you doing it to one just like a baby, if I give a baby, one baby some candy, I got to give it to the other one, because they're still babies all alike. Just like if you kill somebody and another person go to court, they kill somebody, they all alike. So basically, that's what it was. It wasn't about race, I don't think. I think it was more about the crime and paying the time for the crime that was committed, and showing more love to one criminal than the other. Because again, the judge said that, and she was very comfortable. She had on her little flip-flops in court, because I just saw the picture today, and she had on some slippers, flip-flops. And when she was hugging her, she was very comfortable, because I'm quite sure the trial was, I know it was a long trial and going through all of that. So she made herself comfortable that day when she gave her that hug in her slippers. But the thing of it is people was upset because, and even on that hug, it looks like Amber Guyger didn't come around and give her the hug that she was giving her. The love that she showed Amber Guyger, if you look at the picture, Amber Guyger did not step around. She still had her body away from her, like she barely hugged her, as far as I'm concerned. But she showed her love, and she said the reason she did was because in court, Amber Guyger was sitting really stiff, like, I guess, like just like this, and she said she was in a daze, like I know I may get off. I have a possible chance of winning this thing. Okay, so then she said the reason she gave her a hug because she saw that break in Amber Guyger, how she broke down. But I think other criminals break down too. See, that's the thing. That's where it was the mistake. It's not about the race, you guys. So, because I've had a commenter say, why are you black people always saying this and that and that and this? And why you? It's not about a black thing here. I'm not talking about black and white. I'm talking about a crime that was committed. And that's where whoever that commenter was, he was wrong, because I'm not talking about black and white. I have all colors in my family. I got white, I have interracial nieces, nephews, great nieces, nephews. So no, it's not about a black and white thing. It's about a crime that was committed and a crime that should be paid for. Just like I say, this girl here that's in Gatesville prison that Amber Guyger is with now at this death row prison that killed people as well, killed Selena. And she probably didn't get a hug and a Bible. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like giving a kid a candy and then the next one standing there saying, I want some too. So that's what it's more about, opposed to it being about a race. It is about a crime. And the jury had already found her guilty. So when you find someone guilty, and if you have to give them between 5 and 29, and they was guilty of murder, that's where the problem set in. And then after that, it was the Bible and the brother. So on the brother's situation, now they're trying to sue the Dallas Police Department. So which way do you want to go? He said, I don't want you to go to prison. Well, if you guys didn't want her to go to prison, leave the Dallas Police Department alone. Let it go. Let it go. You didn't want her to go to prison. You said, I love you. If you love somebody, don't go back for money after you said the person that killed your brother, and you're saying you love them and you don't want them to go to prison. Leave the Dallas Police Department alone. Okay? You've already said how you felt about Amber Guyger. You've already said how you have forgiven her. Don't worry about the money. Let it be the deep love that you portrayed it to be when you said, I don't want you to go to prison, and I have God, and I want to forgive you, and I love you. If you really, truly love her, then you wouldn't be suing the police department for what she has done, which is killed your brother. If you didn't feel that, then you shouldn't feel that for money. It shouldn't be about the money. It should be about the love of your brother, which you showed that it didn't matter and you forgave her for it. Let the money go. Leave the Dallas Police Department alone. Don't go get no money because of the fact that, well, what you said. Now you're contradicting yourself. You see? And so on that part, that kind of puzzled me a little bit about saying, I love you, Amber Guyger. I forgive you, Amber Guyger. I don't want you to go to prison, Amber Guyger, but yet you're going to go sue the police department. That is something wrong with that story. It is. It is. Let it go. If you forgive her and all of this stuff and you let it go and you have God, like you say, leave it alone and go on back to St. Lucia. Because I was wondering in the beginning, I said, well, if you forgive her that much and you don't want to go to prison, why did y'all come here from St. Lucia? You should have just stayed over there and not worried about it. And your mother didn't say that she was upset with you for doing it, so she felt that what you did was right. So on that part with him, that's how I felt about his. And on the judge's part, when she said it was because she felt, so everybody was feeling sorry for Amber, even the boy. Then the judge felt sorry for her when she saw her break down after being still and staring. And so, but most people do. They're going to be looking to see what's going to come out of it. And then when they get convicted and they get their sentence, they're going to break down just like she did. They're going to start shaking and, but they still didn't get no Bible. So that I didn't understand that either. Because it's more than her that breaks down when they're getting sentenced. I see people all online. You can Google it up. They just, I don't want to go to jail. They even actually hollering. She didn't holler at all. So that I was confused about that saying, but I know when a judge makes their statement, they're going to stick to it, whether they later on think about it, that I shouldn't have done that or not, because she had said at first she started not to go, and I think she probably should have followed her first mind, but once a judge makes that decision of what they've done, they're not going to retract that. because they've already made that decision and it's done. They're not going to go back on what they've done. So that was how I feel that went with that situation. No one knows. She probably feels like I should have followed my first mind, because just because Amber Guyger was sitting still, which anyone would, and then they're gonna shake and get visibly shaken after they get a sentence, that's normal for any human being. And so that didn't kind of make any too much sense, because you can see it in court all day online, every day. People holler, cry, and not just Amber Guyger, in all colors, not just because she was white or whatever. It's just people, and the judge said if people were black, she wouldn't have gotten all the slack. People are talking negative online about her and stuff, and she said if it was a black girl instead of Amber Guyger, then that probably wouldn't happen to her. Yes, it would. It would happen on the other side. It would happen. You would get, whenever someone does something that they're not doing for everyone else on an equal level, you're going to get slack from one side or the other, whether it's black, white, Chinese, African, whatever. The other person or people are going to say that there was a difference because the other people don't get the same preference. So that's why I'm saying it's not about color, it's about what was done. And they will, whether it was a black person that she did it to, or a white person, or a Chinese person. You're gonna get slack from someone else if they didn't get that same treatment. So that was another thing that was contradictory. When you sit back and think about it, it's common sense. Anybody's gonna come back and criticize if they didn't get that same treatment, knowing that anybody in court is gonna sit up there, and then when they get their sentence, they're gonna break down. That would happen. If that's the case, every time you go to court and see these people, boy, it'd be like that, more often than not. So that was the thing. But like I said, when a judge makes a decision on something, they're not going to, whether they made a mistake or not, you're not going to hear them come back and say, I shouldn't have done that, because she is a judge. And that's just how it is. I know judges. I know plenty of judges. And once a judge makes their decision on what they believe in or what they didn't believe in, and even if they made a mistake, you won't know it. And that's just the bottom line. That's just how it is, period. So people are people, and we all can make mistakes. Like even if Amber Guyger made a mistake, on her mistake is different than a mistake that Judge Tammy Kemp made. If Judge Tammy Kemp believes she made a mistake in saying those things because of the fact she didn't murder anyone. It's just showing a big mistake in court where everybody else would have done the same thing Amber Guyger did, and they didn't get a Bible, they didn't get a hug. And then to see the hug that Amber Guyger gave her was a half-ass hug. It wasn't a hug wholeheartedly like what she gave to her. She even gave her a Bible. And so just look at the picture. Amber Guyger sticking way back with the hug like that. Not like this. Not like how she was sitting up straight in the court system. So that's all it is. And it's not about race. So don't hate me. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. And this is just like a commentary, the Real News Talk Show, and everybody online are talking their opinions. But nobody's here to bash anybody, to hurt anybody, to come down on anybody. It just is what it is. And everybody have their own opinions about things. But when you sit back, and right is right, if you're going to treat one criminal one way in the court, then all the other ones going to want the same thing. Or it will be a backlash. Because they feel, I don't care if it was, I wouldn't care who it was, if it was a Caucasian man that came to court and you didn't give him, or if I was a judge and I didn't give him a Bible and a hug like Amber got, and I gave him his 10-year sentence and he was out the door and went on into the cell and he didn't get that. See, it doesn't matter about color. It could have been a white guy, a Caucasian man that could have happened to as well, which it has happened to many that's went through the court system. They didn't get no hug and no Bible. So even men can say it's a woman thing, A man could say, well, that's a woman's thing, because how come the woman got the attention and I didn't, and I got 10 years too? You see what I'm saying? And I broke down too. And I was doing the same thing she was doing, but she got, it could go on. This stuff is crazy. Man, it could go on and on and on, you guys. So, but I'm going to end it with that. Amber Guyger is now she's at the Texas Female Death Row Prison, a high profile, where all the high profile inmates are locked up, including the woman who gunned down Grammy-winning singer Selena Perez. That's the prison in Gatesville that she's in, and that's her beginning of serving her time. But like they said, she may not be there long, and that's all they could pretty much say. And the mugshot was taken in Mountain View. It's a maximum security women prison in Gatesville, 130 miles southwest of Dallas, the correction officials said. And she'll be there for some time, but they don't know exactly how much time she'll be there for. And it's 650 women on 97 acres. So there it is, you guys. So she is serving her time now. So the family is now trying to sue the Dallas Police Department. Another thing I wanted to say about Joshua Brown before I go. Don't forget, you guys, click like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments, positive comments, because if they're negative, I'm just going to get rid of them. If it's any racial comments like I had before, that's not going to be, I'm not going to go for that, because this show is not about race, it's about justice for men and women, white men, black men, white women, black women. Just what's right is right. Do one, do all. Because they all come through there that are criminals. A criminal is a criminal. It doesn't matter what color you are. The thing of it is I just want to say I really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in. But it was something else I was going to say before I go. Oh, what I want to say is about Joshua Brown being killed. In my previous videos, I did not link that with the Dallas Police Department, and you can see the date of one of my videos on it. And I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it because, like I said, it seemed like Joshua Brown, he didn't want to be there anyway at that trial. It seemed like something was on that young man's mind, from the way he dressed, the way he talked, the way he had his head down, the way he cried when Botham Jean he didn't even know him. He only had met him that morning. He had met him, I think, that morning, and they'd smoked some weed together that one time. He really didn't know him enough to really, really break down and cry like that. And so I had mentioned that to a girlfriend of mine, and she was like, well, you know how these new millennials are. They wear shorts and they do this. And he probably cried because it was a neighbor and he just felt like it was close to home. And I said to myself, he probably did feel like it was close to home, and it was close to home because he was doing wrong things. And I told my girlfriend it had to be drug related. So she had to text me back yesterday. You'll see that on one of my videos. You were right. Not that I'm a fortune teller, but I do have a gift in reading and feeling things. Most of us have them, and some people use their gifts and some don't. So that's up to each individual, but I use mine and I say what I feel with what I use. And I told her, I said, oh no, I said, that's not the Dallas Police Department. I said, that's someone that's coming in at the time of this incident with him being on the trial, so that it could look like it was the police department. And that's just what happened. Just what I said was what happened. Because of the fact that was a prime opportunity that everyone would have thought, like they did, that it was the Dallas Police Department. But I knew, because of Joshua's demeanor on stage, I knew it was a vibe, an energy that was thrown off that I picked up on. And then, his wardrobe, his attire, like he was just so busy doing so many things, and it just didn't add up. And he was saying, I have a business in LA, and I got over. When they started asking him, well, you were involved in drugs at one time, so what are you doing now? He was like, well, I got one in LA and I'm going to open another one. And it was like this, all over the place. And I said, oh my God, that boy is still doing drugs, selling drugs. I knew it. I knew it. And the worry was on him, and it could have been that, like I said before, he probably felt that something was going to happen. Because if you were doing a drug transaction, you're one person, and you got three people coming to meet you, and you're only one person, even though he had his weapon, but you can't outweigh three people with a weapon. And so he probably said, I got to do this transaction, and I got to deal with these people from Louisiana, and, you know. So they got into a fight, and something broke out. It was a nephew and an uncle, I think. And I think someone got shot. The nephew was taken to the hospital by the uncle, and then the police got involved. But I'm wondering, my thing is, I was wondering when the police got a tip from Louisiana, I wonder why they didn't act on that and be there. That's one question that possibly might come out later. One answer that may come out later is that when they got that tip about some guys coming to rob somebody for drugs, but I guess they didn't know where they were gonna rob them at. That could be it. The cops probably got that tip, but they probably couldn't pinpoint where the robbery was going to be, because it was near the South Side Apartments, but it wasn't actually, I don't think it was actually there. I think it happened just some way down the road. And then when they went in his house, they found drugs. So maybe when the tipster called, they couldn't tell them a location where this robbery was going to take place. Because they did say the tipster called and said that Joshua Brown was going to get robbed. Now, other people are saying that it could have been a setup. You know, I've been looking at videos online, and someone is saying it could have been a setup from the police to have these guys do that. But I don't think so. I think that Joshua, because he had been involved in drug dealings before, he was still doing it. And that his little business on the side was just to throw everything off. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, this is the Real News Talk Show. And my prayers do go out to the Botham John's family, and also to Joshua Brown's family, and to all the families that have lost loved ones, including mine. The thing of it is, mine was not lost to violence, it was lost to cancer. But a loss is a loss, but at least mine was by nature. It wasn't, it wasn't by illness, it wasn't by violence. So that is a difference to me, at least I can say, because anytime somebody kill your loved one and you don't get justice for them, or you feel like the way they went and you wonder how they were suffering, that can be very painful, very, very painful. Even painful enough when you just lose one naturally, like I have a brother slept away, and to me that was painful too. That was painful, it really was. So my prayers do go out to all of the people that have lost loved ones, including the Botham John's family and Joshua Brown's family. But again, I still say that Botham John's family should not go after the Dallas Police Department if indeed, in fact, they felt like Amber Guyger. They forgave her. They said, I love you. They said, I don't want you to go to jail. So now, if you don't want the murderer that have done that, it was her, and she worked at the Dallas Police Department. But if you didn't want that, why did you get on TV and do all of this stuff and make this big scene about I love you? And when the branded John said I love you, his mother didn't say, why did you do that? It wasn't no big stink about it. So that meant that she was okay with what he said. Well, you guys should leave it alone. If you didn't want her to get the justice, let the Dallas Police Department alone and go ahead on back to St. Lucia. That's what I say. If you didn't want her to have justice, why do you want the money? And see, to me, anytime you put money before a human being, that's not good. And that's not God. If you're so godly, people hide behind religion, but if you're really, really godly, I don't want no money. I forgave her. I told her I love her. I didn't want her to get no time. I'm going to leave it alone and go back to St. Lucia and call it a day. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more with the Real News Talk Show. Bye.